Alright people, buckle up, because we're about to level up your mixes. Forget boring ducking, we're going to make your tracks groove with the art of the sidechain. Hey music makers, welcome back to another FL Studio tutorial with RouteNote. Today we're unlocking a secret weapon that will make your tracks bounce harder than a toddler on a sugar rush listening to GABA, sidechaining in FL Studio. Sidechaining is a fantastic way to let your kick drum patterns shine, creating a rolling rhythm that is perfect for dancing to and producing groove. Look at Daft Punk's One More Time as a great example. Think of it as this: your kick drum's the VIP, and when it steps into the club, your mix. Everyone else politely moves out of its way so that it can shine. That's sidechaining, giving your chosen sound the spotlight by ducking other sounds that come back in after. The most common pairing for this is the kick drum and the bass line. Without sidechaining, they can be like two clumsy dancers stepping on each other's toes in the low end, and it results in a bit of muddy mess down there. With it, boom, the kick hits, the bass gracefully dips and then comes back in, and your track gets that addictive rhythmic pulse. But hold up. Sidechaining isn't just for your low-end rumble. You can use it on synths to create funky rhythmic stutters, make pads breathe with the beat, or even give your vocals a cool dynamic push and pull. The only limit is your imagination. Though be careful about getting addicted to sidechaining and making every track pulse like it's an accountant after their sixth coffee. Alright, enough talk, let's get into FL Studio and check it out. I'm going to show you two ways to make your sounds play nice. The first is the classic method with Fruity Limiter. It's an actual sidechaining technique, and the other is a bit of a secret gateway to getting sidechaining as a shortcut, and that's with Gross Beat. So let's get into it.
First things first, let's wrangle the sound we want to duck into its own mixer track. We've placed it in channel 1 for ease. In this case, we're choosing the bass synth as the sound to duck, as this is the most common sidechain setup. Next up, we need to tell the bass to listen to the star of the show, that's the kick drum. So find the mixer track where you've placed your kick. Here, we've done it in channel 2. Now look down at the bottom of the bass synth's mixer track. You see that little upward pointing arrow? That's the secret door to enter the sidechain club. So you're going to right click that bad boy, I'm going to select sidechain to this track, boom, now they're connected. Now head back to the mixer track where your bass synth is chilling. Time to unleash the Fruity Limiter. Open up the Fruity Limiter in one of the effect slots in your channel. Inside Fruity Limiter, ditch the limit section and head straight over to the compressor tab. Now, get familiar with the sidechain section. It's probably saying none right now. Right click on the drop down and pick 1 or wherever channel you're coming from. We're telling Fruity Limiter that number 1 is the boss. Alright, now we sculpt exactly how the duck is going to act. So meet your two new friends, threshold and ratio. Think of the threshold as the line in the sand for your kick drum's volume. When it plays louder than this, the bass starts to duck. The ratio is how much the bass is going to duck. A higher ratio means a more dramatic dip. The higher the ratio, the lower the bass will bow down to the kick drum. So let's hear exactly what's happening. Slam that threshold all the way down and crank the ratio to the max. Here is the most incredibly overproduced but obvious pumping effect. It's like your track's doing push-ups or something. So from this extreme, we're going to slowly bring the threshold back up and ease off the ratio until you find the sweet spot. A subtle groove, or a more pronounced pulse, depends on the track that you're making. A really strong sidechain effect can work, but it might detract from a more wholesome sound for your mix, so, it's good to know what you're going for. Now, we're not going to forget the attack, which is how fast the duck starts, and the release, how fast it recovers. Play with these. A snappy attack is going to give you an immediate punch, whilst a longer release makes the duck smoother. Okay, now for those of you who want a quick and dirty sidechain vibe without all the routing fuss, let me introduce you to Gross Beat. Now technically this isn't true sidechaining because it's not triggered by another audio signal, but it does give you a killer rhythmic ducking effect that's super easy to dial in, and you can sculpt at what point it's ducking. So slap Gross Beat onto the mixer track of the sound you want to groove with. Here it's going to be our bass synth again. And inside Gross Beat, you'll see a grid of time-bending presets. But we're on a mission, so we're going to go straight to the bottom left and click on the magical word sidechain. You see the curve here? This is the volume envelope doing its rhythmic thing. It's given us a sidechain here in 4/4, just on the beat. Generally, when you're making a dance track and you're sidechaining your bass and kick, that's kind of what you're going to have, dropping the bass on the beat when the kick drum kicks in. So it's a super simple way to just get that effect. Now we can click and drag those tension spots to sculpt the ducking pattern of your dreams. So pull a point down and the volume's going to dip, and you can create sharp drops or smooth fades. You're basically conducting the volume with your mouse. And for extra fine tuning, twiddle those attack and release and tension dials down in the bottom left. They'll give you even more control over the timing and the feel of your rhythmic ducking. The sky is the limit with sidechaining effects. While the kick and bass are the classic power couple, don't be a one-trick pony. You can try sidechaining with loads of different elements. Synths and pads. You can create pulsating textures that dance with your rhythm. Vocals. To make them pop out during musical mayhem or create cool rhythmic stutters. Think about those cool vocal chops you hear sometimes. Percussion loops. To add dynamic swells and dips in your percussive elements. Even guitars or other melodic elements for unexpected rhythmic twists in your melodies.
It's not just about a clean low end, my friends. Sidechaining is your secret weapon for punch and clarity, making those crucial rhythmic elements like the kick drum hit you right in the chest. Groove and movement, injecting life and rhythm into otherwise static sounds, making your tracks bounce. Creative chaos, but in a good way. It's a playground for sonic experimentation and creating unique, ear-catching effects. With great power comes great responsibility, and the potential to overdo it. Too much sidechaining can sound unnatural, and it's going to make your track sound like it's constantly gasping for air. Subtlety is often your friend. Train your ears to find that sweet spot where the effect enhances the groove without sounding like a hyperactive metronome. Did you like the bass line you heard earlier? Looking for some sick samples and loops to use in your mixes? Look no further than RouteNote Create. They've got a treasure trove of royalty-free samples, including those earth-shattering kicks and some gut-punching basses that are waiting to be sidechained into a big hit. Their link's in the description, so go check it out. Whether you go old school and sidechain classically with Fruity Limiter, or you embrace the quick and easy frills of something like Gross Beat, mastering sidechaining and a similar effect in FL Studio is going to seriously beef up your dance tracks, and it's going to help you master production overall. So dive in, experiment like a beat scientist, and make your tracks groove like never before. Don't be a stranger. Hit the like button, subscribe so you don't miss any more sonic secrets, and tell us in the comments below what other FL Studio tricks you want to see. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.